an LP sold. 2 new albums, 2 old. Add that shit up, it equals 4. Let it sound my people cold. You got a mouse out, eat it cold. Why aren't we allowed to even go? I'm gon' pay the fee of toll. Whatever it takes to see us soul.
Oh, man. You have a good 4th of July, Dylan? We never really talked about that. What'd you do?
I blew up 3 of my fingies.
You blew up Malaysia? Like in Johnny Test?
No, not like Johnny Test. Mr. White. Or was it Mr. Black?
I think it was Mr. Black, because it was the white... Or no, which one said it? Was it the black guy or the white guy? Because it was the black guy, it's Mr. White. If it's the white guy, it's Mr. Black.
Yeah, it's like the Tarantino film where Mr. White is black and Mr. Black is white.
It was cutting edge humor. Also, I don't know what Tarantino film are you talking about? The only one with Mr. Colors is Reservoir Dogs, and there's not a black guy in that movie, from my memory.
I guess I'm pretty sure there is, but how else would Quentin Tarantino
fit in the N-word?
Shoehorn himself?
Well, I'm
saying
sure.
the
Listen,
N-word?
I'm sure it happened. I'm sure he fitted in there somehow.
He figured it out.
But I don't think in any of the so-called Reservoir Dogs are black people. I think they were all... Oh, hold on. I just looked at IMDb. I know how he fitted in. He named his character Mr. Brown. I got a feeling where that went.
So,
all right, Dylan.
What you been listening to this week, Michael?
It's the worst. It's the worst. We're stuck to
every
it now.
time.
We're stuck with it now.
Yeah,
but
we're stuck with it.
It's the worst intro of all time. Well, Dylan, I've been listening to four albums. Those 4 albums are Unfamiliars, Rubberneck, Dayna Stephens Hopium, Killer Mike's R.A.P. Music, and Primus's Pork Soda. Now,
wow, what a coincidence!
What a coincidence! Have you checked those out at all? Have you heard those before?
I've listened to those exact 4 albums.
Oh wow, that's insane! That's bizarre. I wish you would stop stalking me and listening to the same things I have been, but you know, whatever. And if we were to discuss any of them further, I'd probably start with open bracket, close bracket, familiar periods debut album, Rubberneck. Now this isn't like a debut studio album. It's just like a debut album, I guess, because I don't believe they're signed to anything in particular. They're managed by Zombie, who used to manage Femtanol and stuff. It's like first of all, a pretty talented musician in my eyes, but a very a pretty good underground manager, from my understanding. Seemingly a pretty good manager you can get if you want to be in the underground scene. I think anyway that it was pushed out by that. I could be incorrect, but Zombie does feature on one of these tracks on the 5th track, Dead Red Line plus No Flash Photography. So my interest in this album definitely first came from the features, but the production, which I feel like this style of production can usually get pretty repetitive, but to me, anywho, when I listen to this, it switches up enough throughout it that I didn't get bored, and I actually ended up really liking the production. For someone who's like 18 and this is their first album or whatever, I feel like the production and like mixing and all is just very, very above line, especially for, you know, like an indie musician, for it to sound this good. For like the one thing I always find interesting in production is like whenever you're able to have both like levels of it that are like heavily distorted and like kind of like super in your face, but the clear parts are still cutting through and you can hear them well. Like having both of those going on at the same time is always something I really like, and I feel like a lot of this album does that. There's a lot of points where like there's a huge, loud, bombastic part, but there's like that clear cut, sort of melodic part going on at the same time. I really like whenever they're able to layer that well.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I didn't know they were 18 years old. That's
Yeah, no,
impressive.
this they I vaguely recall. I mean, I could check real quick. Ow! I went to I clicked onto their what's the thing called straw page. I clicked it, and when you click one of their links, it plays a really loud noise, and it hurt my ears. Ow. Um. Yeah. Well, according to this, their location is Ryan 18. So I'm gonna have to assume they're 18.
One would assume. I think that's a valid assumption to make.
Mm-hmm. I'd also think their name is Ryan.
I don't know about that.
Well, okay, dude. I'm learning stuff right now, dude. You know, there's like a button you can press on Twitter that gives you like an about page. I guess I've never seen this before. It says they were. Oh, dude, this is like if we were like real and I actually did like research beforehand. This is like what I would bring in. Unfamiliar is an 18-year-old musician, a plugin programmer, and a sound designer from the States. They've been producing since they were 11 years old in FL Studio and Ableton Live. They're creator of Spectraland and The Gusher. I don't know what those are. Oh, they're plugins. Cool. And then the creator of multiple sample packs on Splice. Their website, they got customer support, their business inquiries, and then casual inquiries. You can just hit them up on Discord or on Twitter.
Wow.
Okay. But yeah, this came out May 23rd. It was. I was listen. I was very surprised, honestly. Like I it's not like I went in thinking it'd be bad or anything like that, but I didn't expect it to be this good. Like I saw that it was someone's debut little thing, and I was like, oh okay, I'll check it out. And then I was like, wow. In my opinion, I think it was really good. I was very surprised. They definitely seem like someone who really understands what they're doing when they're making music. I mean, like every bit of this sounded very precise. You know what I mean? Like there's a certain chaos to a lot of the tracks, but like it's a controlled chaos. Like it doesn't sound like they were just like throwing shit at the wall. It sounds like a clear vision in mind, and then using the skills that they've acquired over 7 years to be able to complete that task, I suppose. I guess do you have any thoughts on it, just as a general whole?
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. It's a good, I don't know, noise album, I guess it would be technically.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's no Loveless. It's no.
What's Loveless?
My Bloody Valentine. It's not.
Is My Bloody
Have a Nice Life.
Is My Bloody Valentine noise? I thought they were like an emo band. I've never listened to them.
It's could be constituted noise. Put it down in the comments below. You disagree. Loveless is a noise album.
Okay.
I enjoyed it though.
Mm-hmm.
As far as that genre goes, it's definitely not something I'm bumping in the car or nothing, but it was a good listen. I liked it a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, listen. As far as like when I listen to it, I mean, I do it is noise, but my first thought's electronic music. And as far as electronic music goes, this is close to what I'm going to lean to. Now, I will say I do prefer the songs that have vocals on them, just because that's my personal taste. I don't dislike instrumental music, but I definitely have a, I mean, I guess it's kind of like bad because theoretically you're supposed to look at the vocals as like another layer of instruments. But I guess I just prefer music that has that instrument. So like all the tracks that have vocals on them were definitely my favorite. But the production levels on the rest are fantastic. One thing I don't understand on the album is some of the songs say featuring and some of them say with. Like take Zombie. Zombie is with, but take Silfer. I don't know Silfer, so maybe I'm pronouncing that wrong. It's spelled weird. But it says featuring.
Sulfur.
That makes more sense. But I do wonder what constitutes the difference. I wonder if it's a vocal performance is with, and then maybe adding an instrument, because it says here that Sulfur played the electric guitar on that song on the 4th track, Robot Jesus Vampire. So maybe that's what constitutes. Maybe it's contributing to the instrumentals or contributing vocals to the song. I don't know. Anywho, this is listen. As far as electronic albums go, this is awesome. I really like it. This is definitely my preferred taste. Like I hate to bring up Brad again after we kind of pooed on it during the award show last year, but
We sure did.
But like to me, this is a far more exciting spectrum of electronic music than like Brad was. And again, Brad wasn't terrible, but for people to hail it as like almost like the new standard of electronic music or something like that, it's completely ridiculous. Whenever there's so much more potential in that genre as shown in something like this. Like you have, with electronic music, you have such a wide spectrum of sounds to chase, and they just stick with like the most basic stuff, and then we're supposed to act like it's something groundbreaking. I didn't get Brat. It annoys me that it was so hailed. This is closer to what I think should be hailed as far as electronic music goes. But again, I mean, this does bend those genres, right? I mean, like you said, it's like it pushes on noise for a good portion of it. So I don't know. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. But
You fucking idiot, man.
but, but I just think that this is cool. This is what everybody should listen to. All right. With that, what was your favorite and least favorite track?
I think for favorite, I gotta go either the Illisom track or the Zombie track.
Which one? Can't pick both. Win.
I think probably the Zombie then. I like I don't know if you can call it a beat switch, because I mean it's more like a transition. It's not like an abrupt.
because it seems like it's supposed to have almost 2 songs on it.
Yeah, it builds well. It's nice. I enjoyed it quite a lot.
Yeah.
Least favorite probably Pep Rally.
Pep Rally?
Yeah, that one just got kind of old. I felt kind of repetitive towards the end of it, but
Yeah, I know. I
mean, that
know.
could have been what they were going for, especially when you're dipping into like noise and you got the droning synths and guitars and stuff. But not for me, not my cup of tea.
Yeah, I get that. All right. I will say we're on the same page as far as favorite song goes. I love the JPEG sample on. I would assume it's the Dead Red Line side of the song. It rocks. That to me was really what made me, honestly, it's what made me pick this album to talk about, is because I love that sample so much. It feels like such an inspired pick. It's always interesting whenever people sample something so new. You know, the most famous example is whenever Kanye sampled the Panda track, like the year it came out, you know?
Yeah.
It was like, it was just like, you could tell he was just like, I want to sample that, and he did that then, you know? I think it's kind of cool whenever it's something, you know, obviously, Ryan here heard that song, and I would assume, considering how new it is, was pretty immediately like, oh, okay, I want to do something with that. And then they did. And that's awesome. It's a cool album. I like it. So I probably side with you on the Zombie song. I do also like the Illisom song. I also like the Robot Jesus Vampire song. The whole first half, I think I definitely prefer over the second half. Besides the little end there, the last like 2 or 3 songs are pretty sick. As far as least favorite goes, it honestly maybe Goes. The song Goes, track 8. I just get a little, I don't know, it's not bad. It's just, I don't know, the least exciting to me. I kind of liked Pep Rally, but like we talked about last week, I think I'm getting into droning music for whatever reason. I think it's starting to appeal to me. But I like the sound on that. But Pep Rally, I don't know, it definitely sounds like almost like a late Neon White song. And I mean that as a compliment, because the Neon White soundtrack is obviously, you know, considered very good. And I enjoyed it a lot. It's sung by Machine Girl or whatever.
Like gamer reference, bro.
Yeah, it's an Epic Gamer reference.
Fuck.
He's got me beat. He's winning the kids over with these gaming references.
Fuck.
Track 8 reminded me of Minecraft.
Shut up, man.
Do you get it, kids? It's like Minecraft. There's basically
Brown bricks.
There's basically brown bricks in this track. No, I really liked it. I think this is a fantastic debut. I'd love to see what they do next. Just me, I don't know. I'd find it interesting to see them work with one artist for a whole album, and like completely produce an album for someone. So there's vocals all the way throughout, and it's like a more controlled vision. I just want to see what that sounds like from this artist. You know, I enjoyed the variety through this, but I would like to hear, you know, both of those going forward. I would like to hear something where it's like a whole controlled record based around this one artist that they're producing for, and then, you know, obviously more of stuff like this. You know, I think it'd be interesting to see the different sounds that would come from a straight up collaborative project like that. Yeah, I think this is a good record. I think every single person in the world should check it out.
Everyone.
Mm-hmm. Every single person.
Yeah.
Most streamed
being.
Most streamed album of all time.
8 billion listens.
Yeah. Even the aliens. We get the aliens on this. Zeepzorp. I liked the Ellison verse. All right.
Fire writing, Unk.
Okay. Whatever, man. All right, on to the next thing. What you got? You're bringing this one? We do it so poorly because we're like, what did you listen to, Michael? And then I list all 4 albums, but you're supposed to be bringing 2 of them, and I'm supposed to be bringing 2 of them.
Why, I'm presenting Hopium by Dayna Stephens, Aaron Parks, Ben Street, and Greg Hutchinson.
Mm-hmm.
I
had to put you on game about that Greg, bro. I had to put you on game about Greg. You didn't know about Greg.
Kind of fucked up. Spotify don't let you have more blokes.
Yeah, no. Spotify does not allow you to tag more than like 3 artists to an album or whatever. So poor Greg Hutchinson, due to the law of having the name Greg, I guess. So his name comes last alphabetically. He got cut. And you gotta feel bad.
Brutal.
Greg poured his heart out onto this, I assume. I don't know which instrument he played. The only thing I know is I assume Dayna Stephens played the sax on this, right?
One would assume, yeah.
But everyone else, I'm not unfamiliar. I don't know what they're up to. All right, so why'd you bring this one, huh?
So we had a discussion, and I briefly mentioned this last time. The tail end, I kind of came to a realization that I am not tapped in to the modern jazz scene, and I needed that to change.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe it has. And this is the fruits of that endeavor, and I'm quite chaffed. I'm pleased.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a album that I just kind of found on a whim. I believe it was just in like a playlist, one of these Johns, and I was like, I quite like this.
this. Mm-hmm.
Gave the album a listen. Came out in 2025, February 7th.
Mm-hmm.
Shit bangs. Some real soft, polite, quiet jazz. Not insulting on the ears.
Mm-hmm.
Good. I don't know.
Yeah,
just
no, it's
a good ensemble work.
It is a very pleasant.
Quartet.
It's a very pleasant album. I also, whenever we discussed that, we also checked out one album called. Dude, I actually don't remember the name. Coolest album cover of all time, though. What was it called?
Can't remember.
Tate Quieto by Pulse-Perla. And that album I really liked. This album I enjoyed. I definitely
Not so much.
Well, I mean, I definitely don't want to sound like I disliked it or anything. I did enjoy the Dayna Stephens album. But out of the 2 jazz records that I've checked out this year due to our discussion. I definitely preferred the activity given to me in the Tatkieto album, which, I mean, to be fair, I think that's literally just because of my preferred taste of more active music. Nothing,
Right.
nothing at the fault of Dayna Stephens, Aaron Parks, Ben Street, or Greg Hutchinson, or even that one guy who's on the last track, Charles Altura. They all did great. It's just that I prefer something a little more active. I enjoyed this. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know if it's something I'm going to come back to too frequently.
It'd be hard to dance to this.
Mm-hmm.
This is like you're making a cocktail.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah,
You're
where's
cooking
the
dinner, something like
I just
that.
don't understand. Where's the noise elements on this?
Where's the drone? Where's like the guitar with 8 pedals?
Yeah. Where's the rap? I know one rapping on this.
Could go hard. That would actually go.
That would be pretty cool. Okay, that'd be pretty cool.
Okay.
I wish we had a larger fan base so we could have someone draw a soy jack of Dayna Stephens and change it from Hopium to Copium, and then like have it like really mean drawing. Even though we both like this album, so I'm being mean for no reason. It's just bullying for the love of the game, you know. But it's just a funny name. I remember when you told me to listen to something called Hopium, I was like, what? I thought it was a joke at first because it's just I'm so brain rotted, I suppose, by the evil internet that
Dayna Stephens could be as well. You don't know.
I guess we are to the world where there's a chance that this guy genuinely like saw the copium and hopium memes and was like, I love hope.
Where else could this have come from?
I don't know, honestly. I don't know, man. I do hope that for his sake it didn't come from the evil trenches of the internet. But if that's where it came from, at least you got a pretty good groovy album out of it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I know you probably enjoyed it more than I did, but I mean I had fun listening to it. I gave it a good bit of listens before we talked about it. I do find it hard to find too much to talk about concerning it, though. There's nothing in particular that pops out to me in either side of the spectrum. Nothing particularly good or particularly bad. It's just like it was a fine listen to me.
I mean, even as like a jazz linguist, someone esteemed as myself.
Yeah, someone is like
there's not any like
ego as inflated as you. Yeah.
Yeah. There's not like any like crazy theory going on or anything. It's not something you need to give your full attention, but I don't see that much as a detriment, to be honest. It's something that goes. I will say, standing bass. Such a slut for the standing bass. Anything with standing bass, man. There are a couple Johns on this bitch that got the standing bass. Good lord.
Good lord. Yeah, that's fair. No, listen. I know I don't have anything exciting to say about it, but I did enjoy it. Like it's a good little project. I think everyone did their job well. I was Dayna Stephens' third follow on SoundCloud.
There you go.
What
a good man.
I'm pushing him up. I'm raising him up. He didn't follow me back, unfortunately, but
maybe one day.
He does follow 0 people. This is a real theory I have, I guess. I don't think he knows this account exists. I think he, put it on Tracklib or whatever. Or not Tracklib, sorry. Fucking
He's gotta clear the sample.
Yeah, it's all stolen instrumentals. I think he put it on DistroKid or whatever, and then like it clicked like put on all or something, and I put it on here. So now he has like this SoundCloud account because they're all marked as Go Plus, which I'm sure isn't helping him get any attention on those songs.
God, I hate fucking SoundCloud so much, man.
Hey man, at least the CEO isn't like buying bombs or whatever instead of paying artists. No, I ain't getting paid. I don't even know what you could
be referring to.
But the Spotify CEO is the devil.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. That guy's fucking evil.
He is
But
like,
make a better platform, and I'll stop using
mhm.
Spotify. I don't know.
Yeah, I think SoundCloud's like close, but it's not there. I think
No,
if with
yeah.
some better, I don't know if it's even the, I don't know if it's the leadership or what's that's messing them up, but they are like so close to something good because like it's either in my eyes, the only streaming services that could beat it out would be SoundCloud or Bandcamp. Bandcamp could really do it if they would just make their app usable as like a
Yeah.
casual streaming platform.
I would love to just switch to anything else, but
No,
half
yeah,
the artists I like don't have their full discography on SoundCloud.
hmm
I tried Tidal for a while as well, and that like felt very clunky. I'm a big user experience guy,
yeah,
and like the enshittification of Spotify is real.
yeah.
Every time they update that fucking app, it gets worse.
Every like 2 months, I hear about a Spotify app that like
Some like
removes likes or
horrific
something, and it's like,
feature.
what? Why would you do that?
But
You know?
I mean, maybe if SoundCloud or Tidal or even Bandcamp gets their fucking head out of their ass, they could have a better app.
Yeah.
But
No, like I definitely think someone could easily take the throne from Spotify. I mean, obviously it would take time to take over the user base, but if you can approach it with something better, then I definitely think that's easily doable. It's just that none of these apps will.
nope.
So it's like, well, I don't know. Listen, my if I were a betting man, I would put all my money on Bandcamp because they genuinely have like such a good basis, I think. But they don't have
Good
it as like
ethos as well.
a casual listening platform. Though I guess it would also listen. There's like the thing on it where you only get so many free plays per album or whatever.
Yeah, that's dumb.
So I guess it would be back to like iPod days where you have to buy every album, which is sort of why like Spotify and all that kind of stuff took over,
Yeah.
right? So I don't know, I guess they'd have to figure out so, and then I guess we're back to square one, right? If it becomes a streaming platform where it's got like a, instead of buying every album, you're paying monthly, and then it's like, oh well, now artists aren't earning anything. So like, maybe we're just in hell. Maybe it's over. Maybe there's no
Yeah, we're
winning.
cooked. It's too late.
I
It's
guess
over.
let's let Mr. Spotify buy more bombs. Whatever, man. Put it all into AI military or whatever he did.
$800 million to Israel.
Yeah.
Anyway, you
Anywho,
got a favorite and a least favorite?
yeah. Okay, my favorite was Hopium.
Interesting. Okay.
That one's, I don't know, that one's fun. I really like the drums on that one. He going kind of cray at times. So
Put his whole dick into that.
well, I wouldn't say that. I'd say like he tried really hard after spending his life learning how to play the drums to the best of his abilities. But yeah, that one's just really fun. I like that one a good bit. And then my least favorite is probably like, I think occasionally cynical.
Okay. I think that's fair.
I think that one's kind of whatever. No, to be fair, in my eyes, most of the tracks are like pretty close in ranking to each other. Like there's not a big disparity from whatever's at the top and whatever's at the bottom. They're all
It's cohesive. It's
Yeah.
a jazz album.
they're all good. It's just that like
Yeah.
I guess if I gun to my head, that's my favorite and least favorite. What about you, friend?
I think we're going to have some contradicting opinions,
Okay.
as is normal here, I guess. My favorite by far is Jumpstart, track 2.
Okay.
Um,
Zone of a standing bass.
yeah, it's very forward. First chair,
Mm-hmm.
if you will, was definitely the standing bass on this one, but I like a more like despair and agony saxophone, just like screaming.
Yeah.
And it kind of, I love the beginning of that track. Like the bass comes in, it's, plucking away at the bass, and then the
Mhm.
sax comes in. It's just like, and I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a smoky cocktail lounge with no windows. It's like the
Yeah.
middle of the day, but there are no windows, so everyone in there is a fucking alcoholic. Beautiful. I don't know. I like that one a lot, and I think honestly, my least favorite's got to be Hopium.
Really?
I'm not a big fan of like the waltz. It's definitely got a
Uh-huh.
bit of like a waltz going on, and I don't know. It's not for me.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, but
Yeah, and near the end there, I remember the saxophone kind of going like all over the place. I really enjoyed it. It was like all over, just doing all kinds of stuff. I quite enjoyed that.
the drums are good on that, John. It's just not a big fan of the piano, especially at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
But good album overall, I'd say.
I quite enjoyed it.
It's for true.
Mm-hmm. And so I suppose that would bring us to our old albums, starting with my old album. It's a certain little John that came out in 2012 called R.A.P. Music by the esteemed Killer Mike. I love this album. It is where my favorite rap duo of all time started. Like the basis that the whole relationship was built on was LP, my favorite producer of all time, coming in and producing this album for Killer Mike after they met at like an Adult Swim conference.
Yeah.
And it's just, they started with this, in my eyes, a very amazing, explosive record, and then formed what I think is like one of the most solid 4 album runs in. Okay, I'll say this: one of the most solid 3 album runs, and then there's also Run the Jewels 1, which is okay, not bad.
They were figuring it out.
Yeah, but like this album's better than Run the Jewels 1, I'd say. It clears it. It's just, I don't know, it definitely isn't nearly as engaging as the rest of the Run the Jewels album, but that's besides the point. We're talking about R.A.P. Music, which, as far as LP vocals go, he's only on one song. He's on Butane Champion's Anthem, which was my favorite song when it came out. It's not anymore. We'll get to that later. But I remember that was definitely the song that hooked me into this album. Was me getting into Run the Jewels, and then and then realizing this album existed, and then checking out the song with LP, because I was like, oh, that's my duo. That's Killer Mike and LP. So that was my big jam that got me into this album. But eventually I started listening to this album, and I was like, oh, okay. This one's like pretty sick. I need to listen to more Killer Mike albums, man. I've only heard like this one and like one other or something like that. Yeah, the new one, which is good. I mean, it won Rap Album of the Year. Good on him. He deserves it after a long career. It feels bad that he's obviously didn't get any respect for it because it beat out Utopia, and all these youngins. They don't know no better. They probably didn't even listen to the Killer Mike album, man.
No, probably not.
This is a good little record. Now, I definitely say I prefer R.A.P. Music over Mikal, if I'm comparing the albums, but not to say that Michael's bad or anything. I think it based on what it was competing against, it won fair and square.
It was no contest.
Yeah. Anyway, this is such an explosive, for the most part, album. I love it. Killer Mike, listen, man. There's a reason everyone always brings up that one Kendrick line where he's like, how's it go exactly? The Kendrick line about Killer Mike?
Dude, I was gonna...
You're gonna bring
this up. What is it? If y'all really cared about rap, Killer Mike would be platinum.
Yeah.
Or something to that effect.
Yeah, here you go. Everybody wants to talk about who this and who that, who the realest and who whack, or who white and who black. Critics want to mention that they miss when hip-hop was rapping. Motherfucker, if you did, then Killer Mike to be platinum. Yeah. Basically saying that people actually cared about rap being, everyone complained, especially at this time, about rap, not rap. Rappers not rapping, really.
Auto-tune.
Yeah. But, like, they're ignoring the people who wouldn't do so.
I agree. Killer Mike should have been platinum.
Yeah. No, listen. I mean, come on. It's like, what year did To Pimp a Butterfly come out? 2015?
2015,
Okay.
yeah.
What year did Good Kid, Mad City come out? 2012?
I think so.
Well, that was the same year rap music came out. And,
They both lost to Macklemore at the Grammys.
Well, I don't think this one was nominated. I do think...
Well, by virtue of it not being nominated, it's
yeah, I
worse
suppose. I see what you mean. But I think this was the same year, according to this, anywho, that Run the Jewels... Maybe this is the same year Run the Jewels 2 came out, was when Kendrick said this on Hood Politics, but like it's true. Killer Mike is like truly a force, and
He's in the GOAT conversation, man.
I'm surprised he doesn't get. He has such insane alliteration throughout his music. I love Killer Mike, man. Like
I love his voice.
Oh, he like a big, a big part of rap is definitely having a voice for it, right? Like we talked about in our award show. Big Sean, for example, he's great at like everything he's got going for him. He just doesn't have the voice, and it just doesn't bring in that sauce, Killer Mike's voice is dripping in sauce. His voice is so powerful, and this is like a pretty. I would have to say that's a very controversial opinion, I'd assume, but hailed as the greatest rap duo of all time, Outkast. Killer Mike was like on a lot of their songs. He was like he's in the same area, so he's working with them a lot. Yeah. I think Outkast is a better group if instead of Big Boy it was Killer Mike. I think he's a more talented rapper. I like Big Boy, but I mean, look at the career to follow after Outkast finished. Killer Mike had a far more substantial a far more substantial career after that. Big Boy's fun sometimes, but like the only song of his that came out after Outkast that I listen to frequently is Kill Jill, which has a Hatsune Miku sample, which is awesome. But you know who's on that song? Killer Mike. And you know how out raps Big Boy on that song? Killer Mike. Killer Mike's just a better rapper. Listen, Outkast is obviously like probably from like an objective point of view the best rap duo of all time, and Big Boy is definitely bringing his game when compared to Andre 3000. But I do think that their like lead from like an objective point of view would be farther ahead from whoever's in second place if Killer Mike was the second member. And I'm sorry to throw any shade to Big Boy, but that's genuinely how I feel. I think Killer Mike is a fantastic rapper. But I mean, it'd be like I guess that's also if I was saying like, I think, the Eminem and Royce da 5'9" duo, Bad Meets Evil, would be better if instead of Royce da 5'9" it was Kendrick Lamar. And it's like, well, yeah, but that's not what the group. That's not what the group is. That'd be a different group.
You don't get to decide.
It'd be a completely different sound if it was a different artist getting replaced on there. So I guess that's fair. It makes sense. I do listen. I like Big Boy on Outkast, but every time there's a song with Killer Mike on an Outkast song, I like Killer Mike's part more than I like Big Boy's. And then obviously, in my eyes, anywho, Andre 3000 is always the one who clears on every song. I think he is so talented. I wish he made rap music, but I'm not gonna force him. He can do whatever he wants. He can keep making flute music, and he can drop this critically acclaimed piano album that came out this year that was kind of boring, but it's Andre 3000, so everybody likes it or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyway, Killer Mike. This is a fantastic album. He's, as far as like hardcore political rappers go, he's definitely up there as like one of my favorites. I love, and I feel like we keep talking about stuff like this, but this is definitely he's a very in your face political rapper. He doesn't hide it in like, some sort of illusion or
layers of
anything like that. No, I mean, you take the song like Reagan, right?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Which, first of all, I'd like to say the music video for Reagan's one of my favorite music videos ever. First of all, it's a goated song. But secondly, the music video for it is just so sick. It has such a great style to it. I love it. The production on this record is, I mean, immaculate. I think LP. I mean, to be fair, I think LP can basically do no wrong as far as production goes. I think that there's no one even close to the style that he goes for. I mean, you take some of the people that are considered the best producers of all time, and like there's other people that sound like them. Likely because they're chasing after those producers' sounds. But, there's other people that sound like that. No matter how you cut the pie, they're not the only ones sounding like that. The Alchemist. every producer damn near wants to be the Alchemist, so they're doing production like the Alchemist, right?
Right.
No one's doing production like LP because I think it's such a thin line to balance on, because if he delved too far away from like the rail he's on, I feel like he'd almost leave like he'd leave his sound, but he's so I don't know. I guess he's perfected the craft of exactly what he does. He has such a unique sound. I love his production. I hope and pray for another solo LP record, because I think he definitely lets it fly a little bit more when it's just him. I think he gets a little more, I don't know if I'd quite say experimental, but you know, he on his solo records, he has a lot of parts where he'll definitely let the beat breathe for a long time, which I feel like he doesn't do as much whenever he's producing for other people, because obviously he's not the focus then. The focus is whoever he's producing for. I don't know. I really like the parts where he's able to let his own production breathe. But his production on this record is just fantastic, especially since Killer Mike before this, I don't think you'd quite associate him with that kind of sound. I mean, he's huge on being a rapper from Atlanta, so a lot of his production sounds like southern, Atlanta rap. And then even his new record after this, the Mikal album, he returned to that sound. So like you compare how he sounds on those to something like this or on Run the Jewels, and it's like 10 years before rap music, I would have never guessed that he'd rap on something like this. If you compare where they were both at back in their early careers, LP producing for like Aesop Rock or something, and then Killer Mike rapping on like Outkast beats, there's no way you'd ever guess that they would become a rap duo. They come from such different sounds. It is one of the most baffling but perfect connections that have ever been formed. It's just an unbelievable duo to me, from both a how good they are standpoint, but also from a how unique they are standpoint. But I don't know, whatever. Do you got anything to say about something? I keep rambling just because I really like it. That's what I tend to do whenever I really like a record. Is I feel like I just keep hailing it. But you got anything?
It's awesome. I don't know. I think every time I listen to Killer Mike, I just think of that Kendrick line.
He's so talented.
It took way too fucking long for Killer Mike to get his flowers.
Yeah.
I think that's incredibly upsetting.
Mm-hmm.
I think another thing worth noting is if you look up rap music on Spotify and don't include the periods, so you just Google rap music, the first thing that shows up for songs is Little Darky, and not the self-titled track from this album. And that grounded my gears quite a bit. I hate that motherfucker.
Yeah.
I don't know. Dope ass album. I love this shit.
Nah, it's so good. Listen, I mean, when you click play on this album, and it's got like the more like, what's it called? Like almost like choppy, kind of like turnstile-y, like riffs from the production while he's going. He immediately comes out swinging on it. Hardcore G shit, homie. I don't play around. And then the beat drops. 20 seconds in or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you got, I mean, what a feature list for that first track. Bun B, T.I., and Trouble. Trouble's obviously the outlier there, because I wouldn't say he's not nearly as well known. But like, both Bun B and T.I., especially close to when this released, T.I. was like, or maybe that's a little bit after when he was on top of the game, but T.I. was one of the biggest rappers for a while. People forget that. T.I. was so huge in the 2000s. Like, he was the number one guy. Obviously, times changed and he wasn't anymore, but like, he was a huge deal. So And hearing him on this was sick. I listen, man, I love this album. I got damn near no notes on it. The raps, the production, they're both amazing. Everybody does so great on it. I love it. I really like. There's a good bit of like storytelling songs on here. Like you take JoJo's Chillin', that one's a really fun romp through obviously a pretty politically charged story. I really enjoy that record. I enjoy Untitled. I like Go. I like Ghetto Gospel. I love Butane. I love Anywhere But Here. I love Willie Buck Sherwood. I love Southern Fried. I love them all. They're all great songs. I definitely know which one's my least favorite, but like the entire what 40 is it like a 40-minute album, something like that? Just a fantastic romp.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. I think it should be hailed as maybe like top 10 rap albums of all time, but like one of the most important. I mean I don't know. I guess Killer Mike just needs more respect. At the end of the day, I could hail this album as much as I want, but him as a whole just needs more respect. He's simply just a fantastic, talented artist who only recently won anything for his work, despite having one of the most consistent careers in rap. Like I was saying, T.I. was huge in like the early 2000s, but nowadays, from my understanding anyway, he's like, he compares, it's nowhere close. But you take Killer Mike, and if anything, he's only gotten better with age. Like he's just become more and more prolific. And for him to have been this talented in 2012, and then for it to, continue growing, I mean, it is bizarre that he's not bigger. I love him. I love this album. I probably take the Run the Jewels trilogy after one over this, but that's just more personal taste, I suppose. This is a great album. You got any? Unless you have anything else to say, I guess. Do you have a favorite and least favorite track?
Favorite, I think by far is track 1. Big Beast.
That one's so sick. Great pick. So sick.
Yeah, I just press and play on this one, and it just comes in swinging.
Mm-hmm.
I love it so much.
The hi-hats throughout it too, it's just so they're so quick, but it's not like trap hi-hats though. Not to disparage rap trap hi-hats. Like I'm not trying to like, I'm not like, wow, that's not real production or whatever. But like they're these fast hypnotic taps, but it's not quite trap. And I don't know what the difference would be there. But it's just like the hi-hats on that first song, the production, the vocal sample, the synths all being layered on top of each other, and just the way
he's just fucking screaming at you, man.
And then Trouble comes in with his hook, and then I actually forget, is it T.I. or Bun B next? It's T.I.
A very like 90s inspired track.
Yeah. I love it. Listen, I think that's one of my favorite Bun B verses, man. But the Bun B verse on Big Beast, it's so good, man.
Definitionally Atlanta rap.
Mm-hmm. Once upon a time in the projects, an OG saw a young Bun B as a prospect. Thought I would understand the streets from a very young age. So he opened up the G code to the front page. This is my favorite part. Tapped me on the porch, said, "This is where little dogs sit." Pointed at the yard, said, "That's where big dogs shit." He said, "Don't leave till your ass get growed, and don't come back till your ass get throwed." It's words to live by. Words.
Really.
Yeah, listen, I love the Bun B verse. I love, obviously, Killer Mike's verse. I love the hook. I love T.I. I love the Trouble verse. It is a fantastic opening track. I would agree. It's not my favorite song on here, but it is up there. It's probably second or third. It is a fantastic opener. You know, in my eyes, the most important tracks are usually the opening and the ending. Those are where you hook people in, and that's where you let them go. And this is a fantastic hook. And, yeah, and then a least favorite from you?
Southern Fried.
Southern Fried?
I just don't like the beat so much on this one.
Uh,
That's about all it comes down to.
You wouldn't get it, bro. You ain't Southern. You ain't Southern
It's
Fried.
unique. It's funky.
Mm-hmm.
But
No, I love the beat on that one.
nah,
LP can do no wrong.
it just didn't work for me.
I like that beat.
Glaze.
Yeah, listen, dude. I will glaze LP to the day I die. He's if I could vampire his abilities from him and take them, I wouldn't do it because they're his.
Wow.
I was gonna say I would, but then I thought I wanted to be noble. But like realistically, I probably would steal them in a heartbeat. I have no morals. I'm a bad man. All right, now
Evil.
my
Now
favorite
then.
track, probably Reagan, man.
Yeah,
It's
that's a good
such a
one.
powerful record. It's so good. Like, listen, it convinced me. Ronald Reagan was the Antichrist. I don't know what's supposed to happen
He
if
is the devil.
if the Antichrist like dies. There's
Six, man.
there's like a new one supposed to come later. I don't really know the
Reagan's dead.
biblical yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like I don't know what the biblical implications is if like the
I think he
Antichrist
comes
dies,
back.
comes back again. So he just keeps trying until he brings about the end of the world.
He's roaming the earth right now.
Oh man,
I'm not
Sitting-
naming
sitting-
any names,
sitting
but
in
a
your
few
chair.
come to mind.
He's sitting in your chair right now.
Look, I'm sitting in my chair though.
Wait a minute, I'm the only one.
Oh, he's right behind me, isn't he?
No, listen, Reagan is such a good record. I mean, obviously, Killer Mike is most well known for his politics, right? I mean, he is a politician in Atlanta. Like he's always speaking at conferences and stuff. So like, you know, the in your face of Reagan along with the production, I think it just elevates it above everything else for me. I love that track. Like it has a 2-minute intro.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, like before the beat really comes. Like if you look at the sound wave of the song, like let me just take a little. This is just for you. Let me take this little screenshot of the sound wave for this song. Look at the sound wave for it.
Oh yeah, I know.
It is 2 minutes of like build up for like the beat, the true portion of the beat to start, and then the outro, man. Listen, man, I don't know. I was surprised, honestly. I thought you would be on the same page here. I thought you'd love Reagan. Big B says a killer opener, but Reagan, from the production, from the writing, from the I guess the obvious education he has in what he's talking about. To me, Reagan, it has no competition. I think it's probably my favorite Killer Mike track of all time, as far as like I guess solo Reagan or solo Killer Mike goes. Just such a great song. My least favorite, probably Rap Music, the final track, but
Yeah.
only because I don't think it's a great closer. I don't want to drop the song, but I don't think Rap Music should be there in the track list. I think you have a better album if you're ending it with Willie Burke Sherwood. I think that has like finale sound to it. But Rap Music, I don't know, it doesn't have that same punch to me. It's good.
Yeah.
I really like the beginning part where he's like, I never had a religious experience. And then it goes into the song. Great song. I like Rap Music. It's just that I feel like it goes down for me because it's the final track in the album. If I looked at the album as a whole, if I looked at it as each song separately outside of it being an album, I think maybe I'd have a different least favorite. But as an album, Rap Music is definitely the outlier to me because it doesn't sound right for where it's placed in the album. To me, anywho. You know, I guess I didn't make the album. He did. So he can put it wherever he wants. But if I were Killer Mike and I made this album, I'm ending the album with Willie Burke Sherwood, and I'm putting rap music, somewhere in the middle. Listen, man, great album. I will jam this till the day I die. I will especially be jamming Reagan. Reagan is one I put on all the time. That and Big Beast. I put those on all the time. But yeah, fantastic record. And that brings us to our final album of this today. Your old timey pick.
My Unk selection.
Which is, even though we already said it. So I don't know why we...
It is Pork Soda by Primus.
Yeah. Listen, as far as covers go, this is taking the cake this week.
Oh yeah.
This has the best cover.
I love it so much.
It's not even close. I'm sorry to, the effort that was put into Rubberneck's cover from their artist. I'm sorry to Dayna Stephens' face, I guess. I'm sorry to Killer Mike's, whatever, like, graffiti artist they got for that. But Claymation Burpin' Pig, you're not beating it.
Nope.
It's too good.
Not possible.
Like, even before, I hadn't listened to this before, you picked it for this week or whatever. And
you seemed pretty dreadful when I brought it up last week.
I was not excited. Okay, I'll admit it. I was not excited. But I enjoyed it. It was good.
That's good.
I had no issues with it. I guess my biggest complaint would be that I feel like maybe I'm wrong in saying this, but I almost felt like, not that it all sounded the same or anything like that, but like like they all blended together for me when listening to it. Like, I gave this album a bunch of listens. But like, honestly, I'm gonna have trouble picking my favorite and least favorite song simply due to the fact that it just all kind of muddled together to me. That's just my experience listening to it. It was good. I liked all the songs.
Yes.
But like it all sort of meshes together in my head. It's it's like the second track. It's like a big basket of mud that I'm bathing in. And the different parts of the mud don't feel any different to me. So I had a pretty consistent experience. It was an enjoyable mud bath, but there was no portion of the mud bath that I felt any different in than I felt in other sections. It was a pretty consistent, like I sat there like, and then it ended.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So what made you bring this week?
I wanted something older.
Mm-hmm. Is this our oldest pick so far now?
Punk.
Or no, I guess your jazz record from week one would be.
Oh yeah, sure. Kind of. I wanted an older punk or punk influenced album last week, and
interesting, because when I hear this, I definitely don't think punk. I get what you're saying now. I get it. Like, I get it now that you're really pointing it out, but it's definitely not the first sound that comes to mind. I don't know, I guess because I associate punk pretty heavily with like the vocal styling, or not the vocal styling, sorry, the lyrics. And maybe I was missing something, but I didn't feel too politically charged when listening to this album.
No, they have some other
Hamburger Train.
genres.
Hamburger Train didn't make me want to assassinate the president,
No, I don't think anything should make you want to do that, Michael. Let's be careful here.
I'm not saying other songs. I'm just making a point that like it's not like super political in my eyes. This album.
Yeah.
All art is political or whatever, but if you want to be a loser for a second and bring up that point. But let me tell you this album did not give me any. It didn't make me think. Other than, it's a pretty good bass line.
That's the thing. That's that I love the instrumentation of this.
Mm-hmm.
Les Claypool is one of the greatest to ever do it, in my opinion, when it comes to playing the bass.
Mm-hmm.
And there are probably better examples of him going absolutely fucking ham. I think Sailing the Seas of Cheese is probably his like magnum opus when it comes to technicality and sheer shock and awe with what that man can do with his fingers.
Mhm.
But
His wife's a happy lady.
Pork Soda has a spot in my heart. I'd say a special spot in my heart.
Mhm.
It's the first Primus record I ever listened to. I'm coming back to this one more often than I am anything else, really.
Mhm.
Dude, I don't know. It's infectious. The bass is infectious. The vocal inflection that Les Claypool has is also really interesting.
Mhm.
It's like he's going for like the most backwater fucking like cousin fucking hick like Appalachian psychopath, and I think it works really well.
Yeah.
The way he says some things is very, very interesting. It tickles me.
Tickles you pink.
But yeah. Yeah.
Tickles you brown, because it's a brown album.
A brown album.
It's a brown album.
He's talking like a dude with an underbite.
He definitely is.
Yeah, like an inbred dude with an underbite.
He definitely. It's. Listen. Okay. Here was a thought I had pretty consistently throughout. I know the term butt rock is associated with like dad rock.
This is actual butt
Yeah,
rock.
no,
I actually meant
like
what it.
like I don't know why this wouldn't be butt rock. I don't even mean that in like a rude way. This sounds
It's
like
like
the definition of butt rock.
like stinky rock.
Yes. I don't know. I much prefer the term dad rock as far as that sort of genre goes. If we're gonna mudsling, use the term dad rock for that kind of music. This is butt rock.
Yeah.
This sounds like we farting out here, you know? This is music from the butt. I enjoyed it, but it's music from the butt.
It is absolutely music from the butt.
One thing that I found to be quite confusing, I was trying to make sure I was listening to the right version of the album on SoundCloud.
Uh-huh.
And like literally every streaming platform has a different title for the first track. On here
interesting.
it's called Pork Chop's Little Ditty Edit version, but I also saw album version, single version, fucking EP version, mix version. And I was like, what is it? What? I was like, which one am I which one am I supposed to hear?
I mean, it's 20 seconds long.
Yeah, it's nothing. Like I was doing that research before I even started it, so I didn't realize that it was a nothing sandwich song. So I was just very confused. Actually, I remember what I was going to say. I was going to say, I wanted to say this one thing about it. I am surprised that more people don't hear this and want to play the bass like this, because I don't know, maybe I'm missing out.
It's
but
absurdly difficult.
I mean that's true, but you know, people are always
like
inspired.
Like he plays.
I don't know.
Fair.
At least try.
Give it a shot.
Yeah, but I don't know. I guess maybe it's just that like him and like Thundercat are just so far ahead of everyone else. It's hard to compete.
No one's caught up yet.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe that's just the case. But I am surprised that you don't hear more. So I guess unless you're making like this exact kind of music, I don't know. What else are you putting that kind of bass in, right? Unless you're making this poo music, this like farting music. I don't know what else you're gonna use it on. It's like a stinky sounding bass. It's incredibly technically gifted, but it is like funky in that sense. And I enjoyed his singing. I think there's a bit too much reverb on it. Sounds like he's like in a cave the whole time. Maybe that's the point. But he's so
locked him up. He's chained to a radiator in a basement.
He's so echoey the whole time, which works for a good portion of it, but there's a couple times where I was like, they could be a little clearer, I guess.
That's fair.
And then honestly, this is like the hardest one to pick favorite song, least favorite song in, because they are basically all in the same tier for me. I guess maybe I'm getting like influenced because I know it's like the most famous one. I guess my favorite would be My Name Is Mud.
My Name Is Mud.
But I think that's just the one that stood out the most to me. And then I'm not going to cheat and use the intro or outro as a least favorite.
Right. That would be cheating.
maybe Wounded Knee. Well, that one, if it said interlude, I'd count it as cheating as well, but it doesn't sound interlude. It doesn't say interlude, I should say. But it definitely feels like an interlude. It's just like, you know, jungle rain music for 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, and it ends. So I think that's probably the least favorite I'm gonna go with. But like it, I don't know. Whatever, man. What about you, man?
Favorites, absolutely. My Name is Mud.
My Name is Mud.
The chop on that, the bass slap, fucking, it's infectious. That shit like chlamydia for your ears.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then least favorite, I mean, it's kind of unfair. There are a lot of like weird interludes that aren't interludes because they're, you know,
They don't say interlude.
well over a minute long, and it's not, But probably Hail Santa.
You're cheating, bro.
I don't know.
You're cheating,
The
bro.
the riffing's nice, I guess, but the fucking like
The bell bike.
bicycle bell is
The bike bell.
so fucking annoying.
That's fair. It's cheating, but it's fair.
Right.
You know, I was morally superior to you because I didn't count the intro or the outro, but I also kind of picked like a cheaty interlude. So maybe it's just a detriment to this album that it has so many songs like that.
Right.
But it's a fine album. Maybe I'll listen to it other times. But I think if I were to place a bet, I'd probably think from now on I'm just gonna be like, yeah, Les Claypool's a really good bassist. But I don't know how much I'm actually gonna come back to listening to it. It's fine. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't, other than the bassist, there's not that much that calls out to me. Like nothing else blows me away on here. To me anyway. I guess with that, we finish the 3rd episode of the Double-Sided LP show. Wow. Can you believe it?
Wow. Do you know what we're bringing next time?
Oh, jeez. I don't actually know. All right, I think I'm gonna pick this one because I just haven't listened to it in a while. I want to hear it because I like this album a lot. Okay. So, for our 4 picks of next week.
Yes.
For my new release, I'm gonna go with Perry Mason's "Please Tell Me I'm Pretty." Perry Mason won my Perry Mason's "Please Tell Me I'm Pretty" is I think his best work so far. Last year I gave him a good bit of his flowers. I gave him Artist of the Year.
He didn't die.
He didn't die. I think he's clear of all the cancer now. So good on him. I hope it's stays that way. I love him. I find him to be a fantastic artist, with an incredible work ethic. But maybe since he's slowed it down a little bit this year, I found this to be definitely my favorite of his work. It is definitely feels as though it's his most focused work so far. I admired that a lot. So I think I'll go with that. Okay, and then for your new favorite pick.
Yeah. Tug's Collar. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this.
Let me Google real quick.
It's gonna be the new John from Billy Woods.
What's it called again?
I think you can say. I think Gollywog.
No, I don't think. I don't think it's like one of the ones you're allowed to say.
Yeah, I don't know. One of my favorite rappers doing it right now, Billy Woods, put out an album this year. Produced by like 10 different fucking people.
Everyone amazing who produces. Literally 2 of my favorite producers of all time worked on this. Two of my top 3. So
was anxiously optimistic with the rollout, and ended up being very pleased.
Yeah, this is the album that made me go, oh, I like Billy Woods now.
You
I didn't
goated.
dislike him before, but like by far, this is the one that made me go, oh, I get it now. Like everything else I've heard, I've been like, it's okay, it's good, I get it, I get why people like it, but it wasn't exactly like it didn't blow me away. But this is the album I was like, oh, okay, I get it, I get it. He's pretty good. He's pretty good. My old favorite, my favorite. How do I word this? Economy rap. It's a rap album about the economy
Mm-hmm.
and like I guess capitalism of it all. It's money rap, but like in a interesting manner. It's a Slippery People, a collaboration between the rapper Square and the production duo of So. Listen, I'm not saying it's one of the best albums of all time, but this is up there in one of my favorites. I love this album. Square, it's in my eyes, is a completely underappreciated master in his specific craft that he has, which is like more. When I say like melodic rap, like I wouldn't quite compare it to like say, Travis Scott or anything, but like he has a fantastic way of blending his rapping and his singing abilities.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a fantastic little jaunt through how money influences people. I think it's great. It's a very focused album. I'm very excited to re-listen to it and talk about it. I'm literally only picking this
Interesting.
because I haven't listened to it in a long time. I love this album, so it's giving me
And
a reason to listen to it.
I did something similar for my pick.
For your old head pick, yeah.
Yeah, this one's gonna be a doozy to pronounce. I chose Aretamemashite Hajimemashite Midori Desu. Also known as Hello Again, This is Midori. Or wait, once again, hello, this is Midori. By Midori.
Yeah, I just called it the Boob album.
The Boob album is, yeah, we're gonna have to work around that.
Nah, I don't think it'll even get caught.
No.
There, maybe. I guess it is kind of blatant now that I'm looking at it again.
Fair enough.
Alright, maybe I'll censor it.
But
whatever.
this is, I guess it would kind of fall under the vein of like YouTube core. If you remember a couple years back when they were really pushing like YouTube music and you just get like random shit and you recommend it,
Yeah, and it was
which I wish
pretty awesome.
they never, backed up from. But this is absolutely one of those fucking incredible post-punk jazz, Japanese post-punk jazz album. Total fucking curveball. Our first foreign album of the John, foreign language. I'm looking forward to it. I fucking love this album. Little tidbit, I didn't know this. Their largest population of fans is in Santiago, Chile, which I thought was quite silly. I guess another interesting thing on this is if you look at their Wikipedia page, they have like a timeline of the amount of artists that they've cycled through on throughout their 3-album run. Over the course of 3 years, they went through 5 artists. There are 9 total, but I don't know, just weird YouTube core stuff. I think it'll be an interesting listen, a fun one to talk about for sure. It's very quirky. Those Japanese people are interesting. And boob. Boob on the cover.
Yeah, there sure are female breasts drawn on the cover.
There sure are, aren't they?
Yeah, listen, this is probably my favorite suggestion you've ever given me out of albums you had me listen to before. I like this album a lot. It's exactly what I want from like. I mean, I know it's not just jazz, but I guess as far as jazz goes, this is what I like. I mean, it's like jazz metal at times. I love it. Great album. I quite like it a lot.
Yeah, honestly, out of everything we've had on the show, I think this is probably our deepest cut.
Other than
We
like,
need
like nothing,
the people at
like,
home.
like other than like no one's ever heard of this person core art for people.
No, not even know it. Just like if you're not listening to anything else we've put on, I think this one is just such a fucking ride.
Yeah.
It's
No.
worth the look at.
Yeah, this is definitely the one. It's very cool. I quite like it.
That's for true.
Yeah, and with that ends episode 3.
3.
Wow. Oh, I forgot. I love the world.
Yeah, what was mine?
How do you keep forgetting?
I don't know. What is it?
Something about homework. Got homework to do.
Yeah, it looks like we got some homework to do.
It's so terrible.
Good
It's so nothing.
night, y'all.
Ugh.